I, the whistler, know many things, for I walk by night. I know many strange tales, many secrets hidden in the hearts of men and women who have stepped into the shadows. I know the nameless terrors of which they dare not speak. And so I tell you the amazing story of House of Greed. A taxicab rolls through the night and comes to a stop before a brownstone mansion on West 52nd Street. The driver opens the door, and a handsome, well-dressed man steps out, pays the driver, slips quickly up the stairs, fumbles with a bunch of keys, but the door opens.
Oh, hello, Jackson.
Mr. Talbot, welcome home, sir.
Where's Mrs. Talbot?
Oh, she left 3 days ago. Went to the place in the Catskills. There's a note on your desk, sir.
Oh, good.
Your brother, Frank, is waiting in the library.
Oh. Hello, Frank. What do you want?
John.
Now, look, Frank, I told you the last time I'd give you no more money.
Oh, but it isn't gambling debts this time. I'm reforming. I'm going to settle down and work.
Work?
I met a big cattleman from South America. He has a very lovely daughter. And she talked her father into letting me buy an interest in the business.
How much?
10,000. Oh, I'm sure I'll make good, John.
Oh, very well. I don't mind doing something like that for you. When are you leaving?
Tomorrow. I've had a plane reservation for 4 days. Thanks for the check, John. You're a swell guy. Tell Mary goodbye for me.
Yeah, she's up in the Catskills.
So Jackson told me.
Good Lord.
What's wrong?
She hasn't gone to the Catskills. I can't understand this. What on earth does she mean?
Well, what is it?
Well, read it.
John, this life is too lonely. I can't go on like this, so I'm leaving you. I found someone else who is more considerate of me.
But
First, I'm going home, and from there, it doesn't matter. I'm sorry, but things just didn't work out for us. Mary.
Someone who's more considerate of her. Why, I've given Mary everything her heart desired. She must be out of her mind.
Of course, you have been gone a lot, and women get crazy ideas.
It's knocked the pins right out from under me.
Yes, I can see that. You'd better take it easy for a while.
Yes, I feel, I don't know, kind of sick. All of a sudden, nothing seems to matter.
Well, maybe she'll wake up before she gets too far. Perhaps I'd better cancel my trip for a few weeks until you get straightened out.
No, never mind. I'll pull myself together. I wouldn't have you sidetrack your plans for the world. I think you better go now, Frank. I'd rather be alone.
All right. But don't do anything foolish.
What do you mean?
Well, if you brood about it, you're liable to get some crazy ideas and end up really holding the sack.
Good luck, Frank. Lots of luck.
Thanks. Goodbye, John.
John sits for the remainder of the night staring over the top of his desk. The next morning he closes the house and starts on Mary's trail, which takes him to London, Paris, Berlin, all over Europe, but to no avail. Finally, he drops his active interest in his business and goes to live in his country estate. Then one day, 14 years later, he finds himself on a honeymoon. He has married a widow named Helga.
Well, John, dear, we got away without too much trouble.
It does seem a bit silly, rice and honeymoons at our age.
Our age? Well, you sound as though we're a couple of old grannies. I'm 36 and you're 45, and I certainly don't feel old.
Why, of course you're not, Helga.
Oh, dear. John, now that the wedding's over, there's something I haven't told you.
Oh, now
I haven't said anything because I was afraid it might make a difference.
I know what it is. You have a son.
How did you know?
I wondered when you were going to mention it.
Oh, well, he finishes school this year. It's been quite a struggle putting him through college, but he's very bright. Paul has studied hard and managed to cram 2 years into one. Could he spend the summer with us?
Why, of course.
Oh, John, you're a darling.
I should be able to find a place for him in the business. Oh, ask him to come down to our place in the country.
Oh, thanks, John. You're wonderful.
So Helga's son, Paul, came to spend the summer at the country place. And he stayed the next winter, and the following summer, and the next winter. Now it is summer again. And Paul is still visiting his mother and stepfather. The first year, he worked in the office every day until noon. Found business very boring, so finally he quit going to the city at all.
But, Mother, I've looked the whole thing over, and there's nothing there that interests me.
Well, you can learn about the business. You seem to be able to learn anything else you want to.
But I don't care for business.
Oh, you're a fool. I worked my knuckles to the bone to give you an education. I married John Talbot to give you a chance to do something. John has no children. It's a huge business. And one day you could control the whole thing. I'm disappointed in you, Paul. You're letting me down.
Well, it seems to run very well without too much attention from him. If we were to inherit it, why wouldn't it continue to run just as well?
You either get down to that office or you pack your things and get out.
Why should I? I'm perfectly satisfied.
I'll tell John to make you go.
And suppose I tell him what you just said? That you married him just to give me a chance? Married him for his money?
You wouldn't dare.
And suppose I tell him that you were never divorced from Father? That he's still down in South America, still wandering around trying to find a gold mine?
If you dare open your mouth, I'll...
Hello there. How are you, Helga? What's this I heard about South America?
Oh, why, nothing, darling. Paul was just talking about someone he met from down there.
Who do you know from South America, Paul?
Fellow, I met him today.
Were you in the city today?
No, I was down the village.
I didn't suppose you'd been out of the house today. What's his name?
Why, I don't remember.
I didn't think you would. You haven't been out of this house for 3 days. Paul, I think you're the laziest man I've ever met.
All right. I'll start back to the office Monday. If that's what you and Mother want me to do, I'll do it.
Why, I'm sorry I wasn't here for dinner, Helga. I was detained in town. Well, I have quite a bit of work to do. I'll be here in the library for 2 or 3 hours.
Very well, John. I won't bother you. I'll go on upstairs. Besides, I want to have a little talk with Paul. Good night, dear.
Good night, Helga. What on earth? Who's out there? Who are you? What do you want out there?
May I come in? I want to talk with you.
Well, why do you come to the library windows? Why didn't you ring the bell?
I didn't want to cause a disturbance.
Disturbance? What do you mean?
May I come in?
Yes, come ahead.
Don't you know me, John?
Good Lord. Mary.
I'm sorry, John. I had to talk with you. I saw the light in the library.
What do you want?
I need your help.
Where have you been all these years?
Oh, every place. Are you still filled with resentment?
It's been too long ago. At first I was. I followed you all over Europe, but never quite caught up with you. Now I'm glad I didn't. No telling what I might have done.
I'm sorry, John. I was a fool, and I know that now. But may I sit down?
Why, of course. Have you a cold?
Yes, I can't seem to shake it. I've had it for weeks.
See, I hate to mention it, but you look a bit shabby, Mary. Aren't you doing well?
Oh, well, yes. Yes, I'm doing all right.
Are you?
You've married again.
Yes.
And your wife is here?
Yes.
Then I'll be as brief as possible. I wouldn't want her to know that I was here.
You want me to help your husband?
No, not that. I have no husband.
What about the man you said was more considerate of you?
He left me 4 years after the baby was born.
Baby? You have a child.
Yes, John. She's 17 now.
And where's the man?
I don't know, and I don't care. Oh, John, I made the biggest mistake of my life. I should have known better. But he practically carried me off my feet. And I learned later, to my sorrow, that he was not worth shooting.
Where's your daughter?
She's in a school in Vermont. I've worked hard to give her an education. I've done everything I could do to give her a chance. I've not seen her very often. But now, well, I'm sort of cracking up. I've been out a lot. And I seem to have trouble getting a job.
Job? What kind of a job?
Why, any kind of a job.
What have you been working at, Mary?
Oh, John, I've made such a miserable mess of it. I was never able to face things. I always took the line of least resistance.
What a shame.
And now I've come to the end of my rope. Joan has finished school. She's a lovely girl, John. I can't let her know. I can't take her with me.
Why not?
She deserves so much more. She deserves a chance in life. I want you to do something for her.
Well, why should I?
Because she's your daughter, John.
Yeah. My daughter?
Yes, yours and mine. She was born 7 months after I left. Here's the birth certificate. Please, John, do something for her. She shouldn't be made to suffer for my mistake. She's innocent.
Well, does she know I'm her father?
No. And she doesn't remember the other men. Here, I'll give you her address. Fernwood College. And I'll write a letter to her explaining all about you.
Well,
Oh, John, you could do so much for her. She's a young lady now. And so lovely. Please see her. I know you'll fall in love with her.
All right, Mary. I'll see her. I'll have her come down here.
Oh, John, I'm so sorry. So sorry for everything I've done. Please forgive me.
I've forgotten everything, Mary. Oh, wait a moment. Take this check and do something about that cough.
No, thanks, John. I won't need it.
Better take it.
Thanks. I'll be all right in a few days. The cough will be gone. Good night, John.
Good night, Mary.
If he brings this girl here, do you realize what it means, Mother?
Yes?
It's his own daughter. If he falls for her, if he likes her, he'll change his will and split the estate.
She's entitled to it, isn't she?
Now, why should she be? Strange girl he didn't even know existed. Popped up out of nowhere and cheats us out of half the estate.
I know what you mean.
We've been here for several years. You're his wife. It isn't fair.
What would you do about it, Paul?
I'd see that she didn't get anything.
How would that be possible?
Suppose she didn't like it here. Supposing that before John got attached to her, the things happened that would make her dislike everything here. If she runs away soon enough, he won't change his will.
Perhaps you're right. And if she doesn't?
Then maybe something could happen to John. Later, something could happen to the girl. But in any event, the will must not be changed.
Where do you get such ideas?
That, Joan dear, is the story of your mother. I trailed them all over Europe, but never quite caught up with them.
You mean you planned to kill them?
Kill them? I was filled with revenge, but I finally gave up the chase and returned here to wait. I knew that sooner or later she'd show up.
But it's been so long ago. Surely you've lost the desire for revenge by this time.
Time heals many wounds, my dear.
If you had caught up with them and satisfied your revenge, what good would it have done?
Quite right, my dear, quite right. Tell me, have you no recollection of this man? You can recall nothing about him?
Absolutely nothing. Remember, I was only 4 when he went away.
And you do believe that I'm your father?
What else am I to believe? Mother proved that with the birth certificate. Proved that I'm Joan Talbot, not Joan Evans, as I've always believed.
Of course. And would you like to remain here?
Why, yes, I think I would,
Well,
but
there seems to be a doubt. Why do you hesitate?
I don't know. From all the evidence, I belong here. I have a legal right, but... Well, I can't seem to find words to express it.
Express what?
From the moment I stepped in the door of this house, I've had a strange feeling. A cold, chilly sensation of fear.
Well, is it something you feel about me?
Yes.
You're afraid of me.
No, I don't think so.
Is it Helga?
Well...
Is it Paul?
Oh, please don't ask me anymore. I don't know what it is.
Well, what has Paul said to you?
Nothing. No one said anything. It's just a premonition of evil. There's something wrong. Something horribly wrong in this house.
Oh, you're imagining things, Joan. It's all in your mind. It will pass as suddenly as it came. You're young, Joan, impressionable, and you've suddenly found your life turned upside down. A new environment to which you've never become accustomed, but you'll get used to it. You're my daughter. I want you to have what you deserve, what is rightfully yours.
I understand. And I'll try to overcome this feeling.
Yeah, that's better. You're a lovely girl, Joan. An intelligent girl. I know I'm going to be very proud of you.
Thank you. I think I'll go to bed now.
Well, it is rather late. Good night, dear. See you in the morning.
Hello.
Paul, what are you doing here on the stairs in the dark?
I wanted to tell you something.
What?
You're very, very beautiful. Your eyes, your hair, just like gold. Gold moonbeams. And soft.
Paul!
And your throat. Your throat is slender and soft.
Take your hands off my neck. Paul!
I don't know many girls. Girls don't like me.
Let me by.
You don't like me either, do you?
Well,
I know. I can tell. Elsie didn't like me either. She was afraid of me.
Who's Elsie?
She was a girl in the village. She worked here in the summertime. No one knows what became of her.
What?
I don't remember what happened to her. But her throat was slender and white, like yours.
Let me by.
Joan.
What? Who's here? Who's in this room?
Don't turn on the light.
Helga. What do you want?
I must talk to you.
What about?
You're not safe here. No one is safe in this house. You must leave at once.
What do you mean? What's wrong?
The house is wrong. It's filled with evil and hate. I know.
Why do you stay?
I can't leave. It's too late. But you must go at once.
Do you mean that Paul?
That's part of it.
And what else?
John.
John? What about him?
I can't tell you. But you must believe me.
What about my father?
He doesn't believe he is your father. And he's planning to get revenge on your mother through you.
I don't believe you. I won't.
Get away while you have a chance.
No. I won't run from it. I'll face it, whatever it is.
Very well. Good night, Joe.
Now it is nearly midnight. John still works at his desk in the library. But outside, a man steps softly through the trees up on the terrace, quietly opens the library doors, steps in.
Hello, John.
Frank. Good Lord.
Yes, Brother Frank. Well, why don't you say something? Come in, or get out, or something.
Why, come in, Frank. You fairly knocked me off my feet. I didn't know whether you were alive or dead.
It's been a long time, John.
Why haven't you written me?
Well, I was hoping I could make a go of that ranch and pay you back, but I guess I was just born unlucky.
Oh,
They had a revolution and cleaned Senor Gonzalez out and me with him.
that's too bad, Frank.
But you're still the same steady, reliable John. Yes, sir, I've tried my darndest to be like you, but, well, it just isn't in me. I don't have what it takes. The last 2 years, I've had a pretty tough time. I caught some sort of a malarial fever down there, and it's impossible to get rid of. It's recurring.
You certainly don't look well. You've aged quite a bit. You better have Dr. Richards look you over tomorrow.
He's still kicking around? I thought he'd be gone long ago. How's your new marriage turned out?
Oh, very well. Very well indeed.
Good. Ever hear from Mary?
Yes. She came to see me. I knew she would eventually. She was broke and quite ill. She'd had a tough time of it.
And you helped her out. You would. You couldn't turn anyone down.
Well, she was mainly interested in my helping the girl. She had her in a school in Vermont.
And so now you're taking care of both of them.
What else could I do?
Good old John.
I sent for the girl and brought her down here. She's a lovely child. Sweet as can be.
And you'll give her everything her heart desires, I suppose. And then you'll have another problem on your hands with Joan. A girl 17 either wants to get married or go to college.
Oh? I've decided that.
Really?
I'd like to send her to Wellesley.
Good. Isn't every man who can have...
Just a minute, Frank. I'll be right back. Well, what are you doing out here in the hall this time of night, Paul?
Oh, well, Mother sent me down to see why you hadn't come up to your room.
Oh. Well, tell her I'll be up in a few minutes.
Yes, I'll tell her.
My stepson, Paul. His mother thought I was staying up unusually late.
Oh, well, I'll run along. Good heavens, it's after 12. When's the last train back to the city?
12 o'clock. You've missed it.
Well, when's the next one?
5 a.m.
Oh. Well, I suppose I'll have to wait for that. Can you put me up?
Yes, of course, Frank.
Oh, thanks.
Wait a moment, Frank. I probably won't be up when you leave, so I'll give you this now.
Oh, now, John, I didn't come here for that. Well, that is not exactly.
No, you never have. Here you are, Frank. 1,000. And see Doc Richards first thing in the morning. And drop in at the office and let me know what he says.
Thanks, John. I'm sorry to have to take this. I only wish that...
Oh, forget it. We're not kids any longer. You're too old to learn new tricks now. Run along to bed, Frank. I'll see you tomorrow. Oh, take the guest room at the head of the stairs.
Good night, John. See you in town at noon.
Night, Frank.
The clock strikes 3 as 2 figures slip down the darkened hall and quietly enter John's bedroom. Then a few minutes later, the same 2 figures make their way in the moonlight through the trees to the back of the estate, carrying a long, gruesome bundle wrapped in a sheet. Now it is 3 nights later, and Joan, Helga, and Paul are in the library as Joan paces back and forth anxiously.
But where could Father have gone? He didn't say a word about going out of town.
Oh, maybe he doesn't want to come back.
Why not?
I don't know. Maybe he doesn't like it here.
You should have listened to me.
But you didn't say anything about... Well, you just mentioned me.
Could it be a mistake? I just had a weird feeling of impending disaster.
Something is wrong, I know.
If I didn't belong here, if I could leave, I'd not stay another moment. Who knows what will happen next?
I know.
What do you know?
I know what'll happen next.
They always happen in 2.
Many people have come here, stayed a while, and then suddenly disappeared.
What time is it?
11:30.
There's a train at 12. I'm leaving here. Hello? Yes, this is Joan Talbot. What? Good heavens, who? Where? Yes. Yes, I understand. Yes, I'll be here. Yes.
Who was it?
I don't know. I've never heard anything like it.
What do you mean?
It was a man, and
What man?
he said he had a message for us. And he'll be here at 12 o'clock, and to wait for him in the library.
The police?
I don't know. He said he'll come to the garden windows, to the library window.
Who could it be?
I don't know. But we'll wait. I'm going to see this through.
Here he comes. Through the garden.
Who is it, Mother?
I don't know.
The lights. Why did you turn out the lights?
I turned them out so we could see outside. Who is he?
I don't know. He's up on the terrace.
Who are you? What do you want?
I came to talk to you
What about?
about what happened here at 3 o'clock in the morning several days ago.
Nothing happened. Nothing.
Something did happen.
Turn on the light.
No, don't turn them on. You couldn't see me if you turned on the lights.
Oh, good Lord.
Was it you who phoned me?
I spoke to you. that I didn't phone you.
Mother. What happened in this house at 3 o'clock several days ago?
A man was murdered.
What?
Paul, turn on the lights. Turn on the lights!
Joan Talbot, open the top drawer of that desk, and I'll take out the paper. It says, on the night of August 5th, we, the undersigned, murdered John Talbot in his bedroom and buried his body on the estate.
We didn't. We didn't.
It's John. It's John.
Sign it. Sign the paper, and I'll go.
Sign it, Paul. Sign it. You did it. You killed him. Sign it.
You help me. You sign it.
I did.
Turn on the lights, Joan.
John.
It's him. It's him. He isn't dead.
No, Paul.
We didn't. Paul, what happened?
I'll tell you. You killed my brother Frank instead. Come on in, Sergeant. You heard it all.
Yes, we heard it all.
Father, what on earth happened? When you phoned a while ago, I almost fainted. I was sure you were dead.
I knew from the moment you told me you were frightened in this house that something was wrong. I put two and two together and realized what it was. They didn't want you to share in the estate. I knew they were planning something on that night. And then my brother came. He accidentally got into my room by mistake, and they killed him instead of me. I saw them carrying his body through the trees. So I disappeared for a few days and evolved this plan. You've nothing to worry about any longer, Joan. Nothing.
No. Nothing to worry about. But the truth would certainly amaze you. All that Helga said about Paul and John was true. And John was planning revenge, but not through Joan. That night your brother Frank came back. You discovered something, John. What was it Frank said?
And then you'll have another problem on your hands with Joan. A girl 17 either wants to get married or go to college.
It was then, John, that you knew the truth. The only way that Frank could have possibly known that the girl's name was Joan and that she was 17 was to have been with Mary. So John knew then that it was Frank who ran away with Mary and deserted her when Joan was 4 years old. And then John, knowing that Helga and Paul planned to kill him, deliberately let Frank occupy his room on that fateful night. John's revenge was satisfied, and he didn't have to turn a hand. That's all.
CBS has presented The Whistler. And now an important announcement regarding a change of time. Beginning 1 week from tomorrow night, on Sunday, September 13th, The Whistler will come to you at 9:15 p.m. Remember, Sunday, September 13th at 9:15 p.m. Original music for this production was composed and conducted by Wilbur Hatch. The Whistler is written and directed by J. Donald Wilson and originates from Columbia Square in Hollywood. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Get wild fruit cream, all Charlie. It keeps your hair in trim. You see, it's non-alcoholic Charlie. It's made with pseudo lanolin. You better get wild fruit cream oil, Charlie. Start using it today. You'll find that you will have a tough time, Charlie. Keeping all those gals away. Hiya, Baldy. Get a bottle right away. Your druggist has it. A little goes a long, long way. You hear it screaming. Keeps you looking neat all day.
Kraft presents The Great Gildersleeve. The Kraft Cheese Company, who also bring you Bing Crosby every Thursday night, present each week at this time Harold Peary as the Great Gildersleeve, written by Leonard L. Levinson. We'll hear from the Great Gildersleeve in just a moment. But if tomorrow's wash day and you homemakers are bound to be hurried getting lunch, let me give you a tip. Serve the folks macaroni and cheese. Do you say you haven't time to bake macaroni and cheese on wash day? Well, of course you don't. But haven't you heard of Kraft Dinner? With Kraft Dinner, you can make grand macaroni and cheese in just 7 minutes cooking time. You see, you don't bake Kraft Dinner macaroni. You don't fuss with grating cheese, because each package of Kraft Dinner contains an envelope of Kraft grated, all ready to sprinkle in. With Kraft Dinner, you get fluffy, tender macaroni drenched in cheese goodness, and you cook it in 7 minutes flat. See for yourself tomorrow. Ask your food dealer for Kraft Dinner. And now let's visit our friend, the Great Gildersleeve, who's been long noted for his easygoing disposition. In fact, his disposition was so easygoing it finally went. Uncle Mort's face has been getting longer and his temper shorter, and he's starting to throw his weight around with unpleasant results everywhere it's landed.
Oh, my goodness, Marjorie, I'm late to the office again.
Oh, good morning, Uncle Mort.
Good morning. All right, am I supposed to starve around here? Where's breakfast? Bertie, breakfast.
Yes, sir. What do you start off with? Grapefruit, cantaloupe, strawberries, orange juice.
What's the trouble? Don't the stores still sell prunes?
Oh, I thought you were sick and tired of prunes.
Whatever gave you that idea?
Oh, yesterday morning you flung yourself out of the house saying you're fed up, and I asked Leroy what the trouble was, and he says you full of prunes.
Oh!
Excuse me, folks, I gotta hurry to school.
Yeah, come back here, young man. School doesn't begin again until next September.
Just my luck. Oh, what am I saying?
Now, Uncle, why don't you sit down and eat the nice egg Bertie's fried for you?
That's what I'm trying to do. Bertie, what is this, a fried egg or the stopper out of the kitchen sink?
It's an egg, Mr. Gildersleeve, and it was cooked.
It wasn't cooked, Bertie. It was vulcanized. I give up. Just wrap it up, and on my way downtown, I'll drop it on a scrap rubber pile. By George, I'd like to slap a Jap in the map with this scrap. And there's going to be a war in this house, unless I start getting fed properly around here.
My, he's worse today than he was yesterday when he poured the coffee in his lap and then spilled the cream on his vest, thus dissolving the sugar in his pocket.
Gee, I wonder what's wrong with Unc lately. He's been as jumpy as a kangaroo on a pogo stick.
Yes. Poor Uncle Mort.
You mean poor us? We're the one he's doing his jumping on.
You know, I think I have an idea what's troubling him.
Gee, what is it, sis?
Uncle Mort hasn't any love life.
Oh, for corn's sake. Be serious, can't you, Marge?
But I am serious. If he could only get excited about some woman, it might calm him down.
Oh, you mean he ought to gather unto himself a wife?
What does he want a wife for? He's got Marge to sew on his buttons, and you to cook for him, and Judge Hooker to fight with. What more could a guy want?
I don't necessarily mean a wife, Leroy, but some attractive woman he could get interested in. Then he wouldn't have time to be irritable or critical. At least we could experiment.
Okay, but who'll we get to turn on the glamour?
Well, how about Mrs. Salisbury Twitchell?
Nope, her face has had too many retreads.
Well, what do you say to Miss Rosita Callahan?
Oh, she's got a pen like a rabbit.
Now, wait a minute, brother. Who's going to fall in love with this girl, you or Uncle Mort?
Oh, gee, I was just giving you a man's viewpoint.
Well, who would you pick up?
What about Amelia Hooker?
Judge Hooker's sister?
Sure. She's awfully nice and jolly, and she makes the swellest cakes and candy.
Yes. She's a high school teacher.
Is that so? What does she teach?
Oh, she teaches girls domestic silence. Gee, this'll be a cinch.
I don't know about that. You can't make a silk purse in a pig's eye. Now, building up a romance for your Uncle Mort ain't gonna be no picnic.
Picnic? That's it. We'll have a picnic on Sunday and invite Judge Hooker and his sister.
Uh-huh. Now, make some of my famous potato salad. That ought to bring Judge Hooker.
And I'll ask Amelia to bake one of her luscious cakes. That should bring Uncle.
Yeah, and it'll probably bring all the ants, too.
this is Sunday, the day I rest my feet. I refuse to go on your picnic.
But why not, Uncle Mort?
Well, you've heard about nature lovers, haven't you?
Of course.
Well, I'm a nature hater. Rocks, skunks, snakes, bees, swamps, mosquitoes. You can take all of them and give them back to the Boy Scouts and tell them to give them back to the Indians.
Oh, but Uncle Mort, think of all the fun we'll have at Underwood Falls.
What fun? Grinding the rubber off our tires?
No, we're saving rubber. We're taking the excursion train.
We? Who all's going on this pickle and potato salad promenade?
Well, there's Leroy and me and Judge Hooker and his sister.
Judge Hooker, yeah. Is Amelia Hooker going too?
Mm-hmm. And she's baked the most delicious devil food cake. For you, incidentally.
For me? But why devil's food?
I guess it's because she thinks you're such a handsome devil.
Handsome devil. Who, me? Oh.
Oh, Uncle Mort, that's the first time you've laughed in a week.
Huh?
Now, come on along. You'll have fun.
Marjorie, I told you how I feel about picnics.
No. Strange how Amelia thought you were an outdoor man. She said that you remind her of Gary Cooper.
What's so funny about that? Amelia's entitled to her opinion. Gary Cooper, eh? Gosh, I don't know what to say. Gary Cooper, huh? Well, I don't know.
Oh, why don't you join us, Uncle? We're leaving on the 10 o'clock.
Gary Cooper, huh? Excuse me, partner. Would you mind stepping away from that there mirror? Thanks. Yeah. Oh, I see what she means by Gary Cooper. Amelia was talking about the wide open spaces.
Oh, my. Isn't this beautiful?
Mighty pretty country hereabouts, ma'am. The air is so fine and clear. Yes. You just say the word, Miss Amelia, and I'll climb that var tree and bring you down some eagle eggs.
Oh, no, thank you, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Well, then, can I fetch you some more tater salad?
Oh, no, not another thing, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Now, Miss Amelia, no need to be formal. Just call me Throckmorton.
Well, all right, Throckmorton.
Sounds mighty like music hearing you say it, ma'am. Mind if I sit alongside of you here?
No.
Oh, that's all right. Don't move. Excuse me, Miss Amelia, but whereabouts did you put that devil's food cake?
Well, I put it right where you...
Never mind. Marjorie, have you got a nice wet cloth?
Oh, Throckmorton, what a shame.
Yeah, that was a darn good cake. Why can't you be more careful where you put your circumference, you big pudding punch?
Now, Horace Hooker, stop insulting Throckmorton.
Oh, I don't mind. Come, Miss Amelia. Let's wander down to the pond and look at the water
Be
lilies.
careful, Amelia. Don't let the big bullfrog sit on a lily pad.
Why, that little joker.
Oh, look, aren't they pretty?
Would you like some? I'll wait out and get them for you.
Oh, no, Throckmorton, you'll get your shoes wet.
Oh, no, I won't. I'll just take them off. And my socks and roll up my trousers.
Now, be careful, Uncle Mort.
Don't worry. Ooh, the water's cold, isn't it?
No, Daniel Boone, it's just your feet that are cold.
I'll show you, Hooker. In just a second, Amelia. I'll have your bouquet in just a...
Throckmorton, say something.
Can't. Probably has a frog in his throat.
Look, the Panama hat's come to the surface. It's drifting away.
That's all right. He's probably weaving another one underwater.
Oh, here he comes. Well, thank goodness.
Who put that hole there? Oh, my goodness, I've ruined all my cigars.
We'll help him out, Horace.
Look at the big flounder. Here, Gildy, take my hand.
Yeah, thanks.
Is it very wet in there?
Oh, no, Judge. Come on in. The water's fine.
Hey, let go. Ooh. Now look what you've done. Now I'm all wet.
You're telling me.
Oh, now, boys, that's enough fun.
fun for one day. Come on out.
Yeah, gladly, Amelia.
Sit down here, Uncle. Well, one thing good. Just wash the cake icing off your trousers.
Gee, there must be an easier way of doing it than that.
Here, Leroy, please dry off my watch.
Okay, I'll wring it out.
My goodness, give me a towel, someone.
Why don't you just shake yourself, you little Airedale?
Look at me, I'm a mess.
Yeah, you haven't changed a bit, Judge.
Here's your watch, Unc. Jeepers, look at the time.
Oh, it's almost time for our train.
And the station's a mile away.
Oh, gather up the picnic things, Leroy. Where's your coat, Throckmorton?
Coat? I hung it on a limb of a tree while we were playing baseball. Oh, yes, there it is.
Well, I'll get it for you. Then we must hurry up. Oh.
What's the matter, Amelia?
Look, a bird. It's building a nest in your coat pocket.
What's that? Let me see. Look, everybody. A bird's building its nest in my coat pocket.
Oh, how sweet. Well, what a pity we have to dispossess her after all her work.
Well, what are we supposed to be, the FHA? Shoo her away and let's get going.
Oh, Horace, you're too cruel.
I am not. Well, what are you going to do? Leave your coat here?
Yes, by George, that's exactly what I'm going to do.
But, Uncle, you'll catch cold.
No, I won't, my dear. The memory of that little mother bird's gratitude will keep me warm.
Gee, Unc, that's the only bird in the country with a double-breasted bungalow.
All right, Sir Walter Galahad, come on or we miss the train. Help me with our stuff, Amelia.
Yes, coming, Horace. That was a very sweet gesture, Throckmorton. I like that very much.
Now, Amelia. It's nothing that Gary Cooper wouldn't have done.
Can you carry the big basket, Unc?
Yeah, sure.
Jeepers, Unc, why are you leaving your coat here?
Well, my boy, in the first place, it's made a wonderful impression on Amelia. In the second place, the rest of the suit was ruined anyway. And in the third place, that bird that was building the nest was a woodpecker. And I never argue with woodpeckers in the first place.
The great Gildersleeve will be with us again in just a few minutes. Meanwhile, a suggestion about getting your food budget to balance. You're on the lookout for economical main dishes, I know. Well, let me point out the thrifty product called Kraft Dinner. For Kraft Dinner not only gives you grand macaroni and cheese in a jiffy, it's very economical, too. To make this delicious Kraft Dinner macaroni and cheese, you simply cook the special Kraft Dinner macaroni in boiling water. You cook it not more than 7 minutes and drain off the water. Add a little butter and milk. Then, with the Kraft grated that comes in every package, you sprinkle the cheese flavor through and through the fluffy macaroni. In as little time as it takes the coffee to perk, you have a grand money-saving main dish ready. Macaroni and cheese that the whole family will love. Many smart homemakers are never without Kraft Dinner on the pantry shelf. So tomorrow, why don't you get your pantry set for delicious macaroni and cheese that you make in 7 minutes? Get several packages of Kraft Dinner. Love, like mumps and measles, hits awfully hard when it hits late in life, and Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve has it bad. For the past week, Uncle Mort has been wooing and wowing Amelia Hooker. It's reached the stage where he's writing poetry. Now we find the Summerfield Shelley reciting a sonnet written especially for the fair Amelia.
If this were in the days of old, and I a knight so brave and bold, I'd storm your castle, Miss Amelia, and on my charger I would steal you. You like that one?
Oh, indubitably, Mr. Gilsleeve.
Yeah, thanks, Bertie. Or do you think she'd like this one better? 2 eyes of blue, cheeks soft as silk, a skin as white as grade A milk, a neck as graceful as a swan, a step as dainty as a fawn. The girl I mean is quite a looker. Her name is Miss Amelia Hooker.
Well, Mr. Gilsleeve, it's hard to choose between the two of them. You sure is some versifier.
Do you mean versifier?
No, it's a fire on account of that hot poetry you write. I bet you could get a job poetizing greeting cards.
Oh, I suppose I could, but I don't want to lose my immature standing. Incidentally, Bertie, don't mention a word about this to anybody, will you please?
Oh, no, sir.
I wanted to get your reaction, because I'm going to take Miss Amelia for a stroll through the park tonight and read her 15 or 20 of the poems I've written. There's going to be a wee fiddle moon.
Oh, there you are, Bertie. I just came over to borrow a pan to put under our sofa on account of the fellow she's calling on me tonight is such a drip. Oh, come on, Mr. Gildersleeve. How's the big romance between you and Amelia coming along?
What are you referring to, Toddy?
Oh, I heard all about your big moment. It's all over town like a newspaper and I win.
Where did you hear this rumor?
Well, the operator at the beauty parlor told me, and she had it from one of her customers whose sister-in-law has a maid that works next door to the judge's law clerk, and she got it straight out of Erskine Starr's column in the afternoon paper.
What?
Mm-hmm. It said, what big businessman, size 48 stub, is that way about the charming sister of a prominent jurist? It looks like a romance of April and November.
What are you thinking about, Throckmorton?
Those crickets, Amelia. Listen to them. It's hard to believe that they can do that just by rubbing their hind legs together.
Oh, dear. Is that what you were really thinking about?
No, Amelia. I was thinking of your lips, like twin petals of a dewy rose. They... Amelia, there's something I must ask you.
Yes.
Would you give me a...
Yes.
Would you... If you got a match, my cigar's gone out.
Oh, really, Throckmorton, you shouldn't smoke so much.
I know it, but when I look at you, my heart's on fire, and I just can't help smoking a little bit. Incidentally, Amelia, I wrote a poem this afternoon. Would you like to hear it?
Oh, yes, I'd be glad to.
All right. It goes something like this. If this were in the days of old, and I a knight so brave and bold... Well, what do you want?
Excuse me, buddy, but have you got a dime?
No, beat it. Can't you see I'm busy?
Oh, excuse me. I didn't know you were engaged.
We're not engaged. We're just good friends. Go on, scram.
But all I asked for was a dime.
Amelia, do you happen to have change for a quarter?
Oh, no. No, I don't want a dime. I want the dime.
Throckmorton, I think the gentleman has a cold and is asking for the time.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, excuse me. Let's see. It's in 9:42.
Oh, thank you, Throckmorton. 9:42, huh? That means I've got plenty of time. Mind if I sit here for a few minutes?
No, you can have the whole bench. Kind of wet here anyway. Come on, Amelia. Let's stroll across the grass. I still think he's trying to borrow a dime.
Oh, now let's forget everything else. It's a grand night for a walk, and you were starting to recite a poem.
Oh, yes, but I had such bad luck with the last one, I think I'll try another verse. Since I met you, I've lost all care. I feel like I'm walking on the air.
You're not walking on the air, mister. You're walking on the grass.
So what?
So I'm a park policeman, see, and it's against the law to trample on the turf, lounge on the lawn, or gamble on the green.
Who's gambling?
Oh, now, officer, it was purely unintentional.
Oh, excuse me. I didn't see you, girlie. Well, run along, and from now on, try to keep your father on the straight and narrow path. Bye-bye.
Boy, that flat-headed flatfoot. Why can't people let people alone when people are trying to recite poetry to people?
Oh, come on off the grass, Throckmorton, and do let me hear your poem.
Yeah, all right, Amelia. I'll try another one. Let me see. Oh, yes. 2 eyes of blue, cheeks soft as silk, a skin as white as grade A milk.
Well. Fancy meeting you two in the park.
I wonder if Shakespeare had to go through what I have to go through.
Good evening, Horace.
Well, go on with your conversation, Gildy. Don't let me interrupt you.
Oh, what's the use? If you'll excuse me, Amelia, I'll run along home now.
Oh, but Throckmorton, I wanted to hear the rest of the,
I know. I'm going to lock myself in my room and telephone it to you. Goodbye. Never felt better, my dear.
Why are you making those painful noises?
I'm practicing some singing exercises. Don't tell anybody, but tonight I'm going to serenade Honeybun. Miss Hooker.
Oh, you've certainly been in there pitching the woo, Uncle.
Pitching the what?
The woo, stringing a line, making with a heart throb.
If you're referring to my tender passion for Miss Hooker, Marjorie, yes, I've been giving Cupid the jibe.
How's everything going?
Not so well. Last night I hit a snag.
You did?
Uh-huh. The snag's name was Judge Hooker.
You didn't actually hit him, did you, Uncle Mort?
If I didn't, then why is my mandolin all caved in? I smacked him right in the middle of his veranda.
But why, Uncle Mort?
Well, he made a big fuss just because I was strumming a few tunes to Amelia. Not that it was very late at night. Couldn't have been much later than 3. And he came barging out of the house in his nightgown, demanding that I hand over my mandolin. He kept yelling, "Give it to me! Give it to me!" So I finally did.
You shouldn't have done that, Uncle.
I know it. Now he's refused to let me visit his sister. Reminds you of Romeo and Juliet, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. But if the judge has forbidden you to see Amelia, how are you going to serenade her?
Well, tonight's his lodge night. He belongs to the Summerfield's nest of the International Order of Hoot Owls. In fact, he's the Grand Screech. So he should be gone by 8 o'clock.
Well, have you phoned to see if Amelia will be home tonight?
No, every time I call up, Hooker answers the phone. I'm going to try it again right now. Maybe he's gone out somewhere.
Suppose he hasn't.
Oh, I've got a scheme. I'll disguise my voice so he won't recognize me.
Hello?
Hello. What number is it, please?
Judge Hooker's residence.
Oh, Georgia Hooky President, huh?
No, this is Judge Horace Hooker.
Oh, you Hooker Horsey, huh? No good.
No. This is Judge Hooker. Now, who's this?
You George Hooky, see me, Sammy.
No. Who are you?
Oh, me know that long time.
What's your name and what do you want?
Me Lily, only Lily Hanlonly.
No, thanks. We wash our own hands.
Oh, for corn's sake. I said very smelly.
What are you calling about?
Missy Hooky, she home, huh?
No, she isn't. Is there any message I can take?
No, Judge, just skip it.
Gildersleeve!
Now what are you going to do, Uncle Mort?
I don't give up very easily, Marjorie. Remember, love laughs at locksmiths and jeers at jugheads like the judge. I'm going to send Amelia a box of candy with a message inside. I read that someplace. That should do the trick. Hey, Bertie!
Was you calling me, Mr. Gilsleeve?
Yes, Bertie. Are you finished with the dishes yet?
I've done the dunking, but the wiping is waiting.
I want you to take a package over to Miss Amelia for me. Smuggle it in so her brother doesn't find it, see? How do you think you can act as Cupid's messenger in this case?
Oh, certainly, Mr. Gilsleeve. I'm the cupidest messenger in town.
Hey, Judge, hurry. We'll be late to the meeting.
I'm coming, Ralph. After all, it can't start until the Grand Screech arrives.
No, but if you're late, they're liable to elect a new one before you get there.
Oh, they couldn't do that.
Oh, no. If I remember correctly, that's how you were elected.
Yeah, but the first thing I did was to change that rule.
Yeah, well, hop in.
Wait a second. Someone's coming to the house, I think. Oh, hello, Bertie.
Oh, hello, Judge.
What have you got there? Something for me?
No, sir.
Then it must be for Miss Amelia.
Yeah, that's it. It's for Miss Amelia.
Fine. Just give it to me, and I'll take it into her.
But I've had strict instructions to put it right in her own hands.
Well, she's upstairs, and there's no use making her come down to answer the door. I'll take it.
I don't know whether that's right for me to do it.
Well, just give me one reason why not.
Okay, I'll give you a reason, but I have to go home to get it.
Fine. Now, just a second. There's no use you lugging that package all the way home and then back here again. Just leave it with me until you come back.
All right, so here it is.
Thanks, Bertie. I'll take good care of it.
That's mighty considerate of you, Judge.
Hey, what's the idea?
That's Gildersleeve's cook. I've forbidden him to see my sister, and dollars to donuts, this package is something he sent her.
What are you doing?
Foiling Big Gildersleeve. Well, chocolates. Have some, Ralph.
Hey. Oh, look, a note.
Let me see. Listen to this. Dearest darling Moonflower, I've phoned and called to see you all day long. But in vain. And who has so cruelly kept us apart? Your brother, the little tinker. Something's wrong with the S on his typewriter. I'll fool him. Tonight, when old Sourpuss is playing Hoot Owl, I'll glide beneath your window and let the golden notes of song pour out of my throat. Your fluffums wuffums.
Say, Judge, what are you going to do?
First, we're going to finish eating this candy. Then I'm going to get Amelia out of the house on some pretext or other. Then you and I are going upstairs and fill every pot, pitcher, and bucket in the house with water.
Why?
Well, when Fluffums Wuffums pours the golden notes of song out of his throat, we're going to pour the water out of the window.
If, for goodness sakes, quiet, you musicians. This is supposed to be a serenade, not a stampede.
Yeah, quiet, fellas.
Yeah. Now, you boys hide in the bushes while I tiptoe up on the porch. You get it? And I'll let you know when I'm ready.
Okay, Mr. Gildersleeve. Come on, boys.
Now, take it easy and be quiet, boys. Ah, Amelia, light of my life, list to my song of love. Oh, just a little love, a little kiss. Just an hour that holds a world of bliss. right here.
It's me, Gildy.
Yeah.
I hope you're dripping wet, you great big drip.
Is that so? Well, you never touched me. I was here in the porch swing all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, but you got the whole band. We're all doused. Now let's turn you fellas right for making all that noise.
Oh, by the way, Hooker, that's the policeman's band.
What?
Fix yourself up pretty, Judge. You're about to have visitors.
I don't care. At least my sister never got to hear you.
Oh, no? Who do you think this is sitting in the porch swing with me? Rudy Valley? Ladies and gentlemen, this has been our last broadcast before our summer vacation. Before we go, I'd like to express my sincere appreciation to the Kraft Cheese Company for a most pleasant year. Also, my deep thanks to our writer, Leonard Levinson, and to the members of the cast for their able assistance. Walter Tetley, who plays Leroy, my nephew, Lorene Tuttle, my niece, Marjorie, Lillian Randolph, who's Bertie, Earl Ross as Judge Hooker, Paula Winslow as Dottie Dobson, and William Randolph Mills, our musical director, and Cecil Underwood, our producer. I am proud to announce that during the 8 weeks we'll be off the air, the United States government will take over our half hour to bring you the Victory Parade. Each of the top NBC shows is contributing one program to this series, so be sure to listen in. I hope you all have a pleasant summer, and now, good night.
Original music heard on this program was composed and conducted by William Randolph. This is Jim Bannon speaking for the Kraft Cheese Company and inviting you to tune in again August 30th at this same time for the further adventures of The Great Gildersleeve.
Right now, you American homemakers are more nutrition conscious than ever before. You know that wholesome, nourishing food will help make strong Americans. Yes, and you're finding out that the right foods aren't necessarily expensive. Certainly a good example of that is nutritious Parquet margarine, the wholesome, delicious spread for bread made by Kraft. You see, Parquet margarine is an economical source of important food value. Why, nourishing Parquet margarine is one of the best energy foods you can serve. And every pound contains 9,000 units of important vitamin A. Yet, for all its goodness, it's thrifty, too. Now, once you've tasted Parquet's delicate, appetizing flavor, you'll agree it deserves a place on your table morning, noon, and night. So tomorrow, order a pound or two of delicious, nutritious Parquet margarine. Just ask for Parquet, P-A-R-K-A-Y. Parquet margarine made by Kraft. This program has reached you from Hollywood. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
The distinguished swing of Artie Shaw, king of the clarinet, and his orchestra, creating dance history in the blues.